Hello, friends. So this video is basically 10 examples of C++ using uh, what we learned in the tutorial part one, basically, right? We have not seen many things. I did a tutorial on part one of introduction, basically to C++. And this is just 10 random examples that we can do with what we learn. This is how easy it is. I'm going to be using the same program name for all of them. You know, it says hello world, in fact, right here, because all I did is delete it, but delete the hello world program. But okay, so the first program, I'm going to put some comments. I'm going to put in how to calculate a user's pay. And that is my comment in C++. Ray Ujeda, that's my name. And so I'm going to be include IOStream, basic include for C++. I'm going to be using namespace std. Again, something standard. I'm going to do int main. And there's my main program. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to declare, in this particular case, I'm going to use 3 doubles. So I'm going to be double. And I'm going to call it hours, rate, and pay. And I could put in the whole word hour and rate and pay. I'm just going to do HRMP. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to get the number of hours work. So I'm going to do C out. How many hours did you work? And semicolon. And I'm going to input the value into H. Then I'm going to do, I don't know, hourly pay, I guess, hourly pay. So C out. How much do you get paid per hour? And I'm going to input that value into my rate. And finally, I'm going to calculate payment. So I'm going to do pay equals hours times rate. And that is my formula right there. And now I'm going to display, I'm going to print out the pay rate, the pay. And so I'm going to do C out. And I'm going to do you have earned. And I'm going to put a $sign just because I know it's a $sign. Space P for the pay and NL. And of course, I could have done /n, you know, at the end inside, but I'm going to do N line. And this int is this main function obviously is it's an int, so I'm going to return 0. And there it is. Very straightforward. So let's run the program and see what happens. So how many hours did you work? I'm going to put in 80 hours. How much you get paid per hour? Let's say $20 an hour. So you earn $1,600, and I finished with the exit code 0. It's that simple, you know, very, very easy, you know. So I'm going to include IOStream, my namespace, main, my 3 variables, print out a screen, enter the value, print a screen, enter a value, and then formula and print it out. You can see I have a string and a double, and then NL, right? So just because of my object. Let's do another program now. Let's say I wanted to enhance this. I'm gonna do this including some overtime. Let's say I wanted to include overtime. And instead of doing this here, I'm gonna make some modifications. And I'm gonna call this regular pay. And I'm gonna put a comma. Now, I want you to notice this. I'm going to do this here. See how I went to the next line? I put a comma, but I didn't put a semicolon. So basically, I'm still in the variable double declaration. So I can do base pay. And that will be equals, I don't know, let's say 18.25 an hour. Put a comma in there. That's how much this person will get paid. And then I'm going to do regular hours. Regular hours. I don't know how to spell. Here we go. Regular hours. And I'm going to do 40 hours. Notice how I put 40.0 because it's a double, right? And the reason I'm using doubles is because it could be a fraction of hours. It doesn't have to be 40. It could be 39.5. I'm going to do overtime wages. I don't know how much that will be. But overtime pay rate. Overtime pay rate equals, and I'm going to put 27.80. I'm making that up, by the way. I don't know how much overtime it is. I could calculate it, but I'm going to leave it at 27.80 for now. For now. Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to do this. I'm just going to put a comma in there. And then I'm going to put in overtime hours. And I'm going to put in 10. And then total wages. And now I'm going to do a semicolon. So basically, I have some variables that are being declared, and I have some that are not. And that's that. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and, well, I'm going to erase this because I'm not going to use that. So the first thing I'm going to do is calculate my overtime pay rate, right? So overtime pay rate will be equal base pay times 1.5. That's my overtime pay rate. I also need to calculate my regular wages. So regular pay will be equals to my base, well, it is my base pay times my regular hours. So that makes two calculations. Overtime wages will be equal to overtime pay rate times overtime hours. And overtime, I forgot the year. Overtime pay rate. That's overtime hours. And you know, I just noticed I put a 10 and it should be, I could leave it at 10, I can 10.0. It doesn't really matter because it's a double, but I'm gonna do that because that's the way it should be. I've done 3 calculations so far. So now I can display, see out, wages for this week are, and I'm going to close that and I'm going to put in total wages, L. But how much is total wages? I haven't calculated total wages yet. So I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna put total wages equals regular pay plus overtime wages. And that should do it. Let me see. I've not done this program before. And there is my wages for this week, 1,003 with 75. How cool is that? There it is right here. So again, what I'm doing here, I'm gonna go and close this, is declaring some variables without any value. And then declaring some with some values. And I'm the ones that don't have values, I'm calculating. I didn't put any comments because I'm just modifying the other program. But of course, the correct thing to do is we'll go here and put a comment, calculate overtime pay, and so on. I could, I should do all that, but anyways, that's how it's done. Let's do a little modification of the same thing, but this time we're gonna be doing a purchased item. So let me erase all of this, and I'm gonna be doing a double. I like doubles. Regular price, and I'm gonna declare a discount. And the discount, by the way, is gonna be 0.20, and 0.20 is 20%, okay? And then sale price. And I'm gonna do that right there. So regular price and sale price, I don't know, but the discount is 20%, and this is a store. So the first thing I'm gonna do is see out what is the regular price in dollar signs. I guess I can do that. And I'm gonna send to regular price. Then I'm gonna do my sale price. Sale price equals regular price times discount. But we know that that is not exactly true, right? Because discount is 20%. So first, I gotta find out what the actual discount is for that amount. There's several ways around this. I don't really want to confuse you, so I'm gonna add another variable here. I'm gonna add another price of the discount price, and I went ahead and added it right now. So now discount price is regular price times discount. Now sale price will be equal regular price minus discount price. And now I can see out regular price is, and I'll put regular price. Then I can see out, oh, and I need to do an NL, otherwise it's gonna jump on me. I can see out discount amount. Oh, man, I can type today amount, and I'm going to Put in discount price. And then I'm going to see out. I keep getting a L every time I put in an O. This is crazy. Sale price. And just because I want it to be aligned, I'm going to do this right here. And this will be my sale price. There we go. After all those typos that I had there. So I'm declaring 4 variables. I know my discount is 20%, which is 0.20. So anyways, here we go. Let's do this run. And the regular price is, I don't know, 1,000. So the discount is 200 and the sale price is 100. How about that? Let's do a different amount, one with decimals. I'm going to put in 987 and 23. And there it is. Now I got my decimals. At this point, it's doing up to 3 decimals. We'll do an example a little bit forward from here that includes a fixed amount of characters. So, okay. So far, so good. Let's do some math. And I mentioned on my part 1 tutorial that I would have to include CMath. And I can do some math operations. I'm gonna erase all of this. Const double I equals 3.14159.268. I don't know. I can do a million decimals in there. It doesn't really matter. So I'm declaring something of a constant, right? So now I can, I know that pi equals that. I'm also going to be doing double area and radius. Remember, this is case sensitive. I'm using capital A and capital R in this case. So C out calculating the area of a circle. Okay. C out. What is the radius? And I'm going to sin into radius. And remember, I'm using a capital R. Now I can calculate area equals pi, we know that, times, we're doing POW of radius, comma, 2.0. There we go. Now, and of course, semicolon. Now we can do C out. The area is all right. There we go. So POW, by the way, is to raise something to a specific, in this case, 2. So as to raise to, you know, to the second, right? So let's do run. And what is the radius? I'm going to do 5. And that is the area for the radius of 5. And I'm using a constant, which is pi, and using POW, power of, right? So that's how you use that. Let's do another example. This time, I'm going to not use math. I'm going to get rid of math. No need to leave it. It won't hurt to leave it. Just don't want to leave it. So we're going to do int number equals 65. It's very simple. Using a static cast in this case. C out number. So at this point, all this is going to do, let me do a run, just so you can see this. It's going to say 65. There it is, 65. But now let's do something else. See out static cast. We do a share a character, right? For number. Now, I'm doing a static cast. We saw this also in the on the intro to C++. I'm going to force it to be a character. What this should do is print the character letter capital A. And there it is, 65 when I input it right here, 65. And then here, it puts the character it belongs, which is A. That's how you do static cast, character and then the number. That's how it works. It is time to do a little formatting. Remember I mentioned we can do formatting when I had the 3 digits. For that, IO manip, I call it, IO manipulation. And I'm going to erase that again. So let's get the sales for 3 days. And I forgot to do my thing, so I'm going to double day 1, day 2, day 3, and total. So see out sales for day 1. And I'm going to send day 1. I'm going to copy and paste it and paste it. But this time I'm going to do it for day 2 and for day 3. And now let's calculate, right? Total equals the 1 plus the 2 plus the 3. We know our days and we know our totals. Now let's display this. See out. And look what I'm going to do here. /n sales. Remember I mentioned the NL is the same as the /n. I could do this, or I can do NL and then the double, you know, I can do this, or I could also, I gotta spell correctly, could also do C out and L sales, right? It's the same thing. I'm gonna do C out, and I'm gonna do just a bunch of slashes here. That's only because, you know, I can, I guess. C out. So I'm gonna put in day 1, space there. And I'm gonna do sit precision, or sit W. Sit W. I'll do that for one thing. Sit W of 8 precisions. And then the 1 and L. And that's how it's done. Now, I'm gonna copy that. I'm gonna make this 3, 2, and I'm gonna make this 2, 3. And now I'm gonna do the same here, but this time I'm gonna put total. And I'm gonna put here total. And that's it. So notice I'm putting this, I'm using C lion, and it automatically puts the n:8. It's the same, it'll work either way. Erase this. Okay, let's do it again. So I'm going to put in 25, 35, and 55. And there it is. And notice, I'm going to make this bigger. See, it formatted it automatically with the set W. There's a set W right there. It automatically put it. It's using 8 characters, but they're aligned. That's how you can make a small little table, if you will. I chose my examples randomly, so some I'm jumping back and forth, but they, it's no big deal. Now let's do strings. And remember, I mentioned that string, one of the cool things about string is it makes life easier. That's the way I explain it anyways. I mean, you can do arrays of characters, you can do pointers. We'll get to pointers, don't worry. It's no C++ without pointers. But string definitely makes it easy. So string name, string city. See, I just declared 2 variables of the type string. See out. What is your name? Sin or get line? Well, let's do get line this time. There's a difference between sin and get line. So I'm going to do sin, comma, name. And then I'm going to see out. Where do you live? And I'm going to put W, capital W, just because. I'm going to get line. And then I'll do sin, comma, city. Ooh, no. Sin, comma, city. There we go. Semicolon. And then I'm going to see out. Hello. Name. And then see out. You live in, put a capital Y. I'm going to put a space here. And city. Now, I want you to notice a couple of things. You see how it's putting the ampersand here? It's C line is doing automatically. I'm doing this in a MacBook Pro. Let's run this. And what is your name? Ray Ojeda. Where you live? San Diego. Hello, Ray Ojeda. You live in San Diego. Now, I want you to notice this. I'm using getLine. What if I would have done sin name? And over here, I would have done sin city. I'm gonna do the same example, but I'm using sin instead of getLine. I want you to see the difference. I'm gonna put in my name and San Diego. So see, notice how I left the space and put my last name and automatically assumed that Ojeda was the city I lived in. That's the problem with the sin. Sin works perfect for a single variable thing, but when you have multiple variables, it doesn't work that well. So instead, we do the get line, sin, comma, name, and the same over here. So we get around that problem. Now it doesn't use the space as a what should we call it? What it's doing when you use sin, a space automatically says, hey, go to the next variable. when getline, it doesn't. It is, even with the spaces, it's still part of the program. So now I can do Ray Ojeda, and it says where he lives, San Diego, and now it works perfect. So now you see the difference between sin and getline. So it looks like a simple thing, but it really is more than that. Okay, let's get up now. Now we're going to using string. I'm not going to use string. I'm sorry. I'm going to be using IO manipulation, IO manip, and I'm going to include CMath. And that's one of the cool things about C++ is that you can just add as many libraries as you need. So double A, B, C, just like that. C out, enter the length. Now this is the calculation of a triangle, by the way. I'm going to put it right here. Calculating the area of a right angle triangle. Triangle. There it goes, something like that. C out, enter length of side A. And I'm going to do sin to A. And then I'm gonna copy this because I can. I'm gonna do the B. The B. Now, C will equal the square root, SQRT. And I'm gonna do this in a, what do you call it? In a way that is easy to use. A, comma, 2.0 plus B, comma, 2.0 and a semicolon. So if you notice, here's my, you know, how I do A squared and B squared, and then I add them and I do the square root, because this is how you do the area. And the calculate the hypotenuse, right? This is hypotenuse. So now I can do something like see out the length of the hypotenuse is, and then C. Well, we'll do that here. Hypotenuse is, and then I'm going to do C out. I could do it all together. Set precision to, and then I'm going to do C and L. There we go. And so I'm doing the set precision here for 2 decimals, basically. Okay. And so here we go. Now it's giving me an error. Aha. Set precision. See, that's one of the cool things about this, because I misspelled it. Precision. Actually, I'm kind of glad it gave me the error so you can see what happens, right? It gave me an error. That's what you see when it doesn't work. And here we go. It's still giving me an error message. And that's because I had another typo right there. I had N and I put a B instead of a D. There we go. 23, 12. And the hypotenuse is 26. So now I had 2 errors in here, and you saw it live as I'm doing this. You saw that it worked. I didn't want to do an edited video where everything is perfect, but you got to see what happens when there's a misspelling, and C++ is strongly typed. So, but the cool thing is it tells you before it compiles, it says, hey, look, something's wrong here. You typed it wrong. This is not how it's supposed to be. All right. And I think this comment here is C++. Now let's do the start of IO manip. We're going to be using cstd live, and I'm using ctime. And I don't know if I mentioned ctime, but I think I did. It's time to do a little bit more things here. We're going to do it on sign seed and equals time of 0. Now we're going to do srand of seed. I'm basically doing random generation numbers. So look at this, C out, rand, and I'm just gonna copy this. So I got basically a seed based on the time, and then seed is used for my random generation, and I'm gonna print it. So let's check this out. And look at these. These are 3 totally different random numbers because it's based on the time. Now let's do it again. Let's run it. See how it starts with a 13505049882. Check this out. It's the same number. See, same numbers. Each one of them is a different number, but generally speaking, because I'm using the same, it's giving me the same random numbers. So that's how it works. Now let's get into something a little bit more complicated. This will be the last example that I do for the part 1 of my tutorial. So I'm going to be using IOStream, stdtime, and std. I'm going to be using all of those. And I'm going to erase these because I'm not going to use them. Now, check this out. Const int min value equals 1. And then const int max value equals 6. And we're rolling some die here, okay? Have a minimum value and a maximum value. Then I'm going to be doing int die 1 and die 2. How about that? Unsigned seed equals time of 0. So far, so good. Srand seed, just the same as the other one. Now here it goes. C out, rolling out the dice /n. By the way, I use NL, but I like /n a lot better. This here instead of NL. I personally like that more. It's a lot easier. Die 1 equals rand modulus max value minus min value plus 1. And I got 2 parentheses plus min value. And I could just, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna copy and I'm gonna do die 2. So max value minus min value plus 1 plus min value. And check this out. Now I can do C out die 1 and L. C out die 2 and L. And let's see what I get. I'm gonna run this program, see if I have any typos in here. And okay, let's do it again. And here we go. So I got a 5 and a 3. Just roll the dice, and die 1 is a 5 and die 2 is a 3. Now, do you see this right here? I'm gonna comment this out. Instead of that, I'm gonna do C out die 1 / n die 2 / n, and believe it or not, it should do the same thing. Here we go. 1 and 5. There we go. 1 and 5. So this here is the same as this over here. See, remember I told you the NL, the /n's. That's why. And I could do something here like check this out. Die 1. Actually, I'm gonna do it over here. Die 1 is die 1, and then here I can do /n die 2 is, and then 2 /n. Now check this out. Close this, run. Die 1 is 1, die 2 is 4. See? That's why I like this /n much better than the NL that I have over here. Anyways, I didn't want to erase any of the errors when I was doing the typing. I didn't want to erase any of the errors when I was compiling, because I wanted you to see what happens when you do something wrong, how the compiler tells you it's a syntax error, this is this error, this is that error. I also, I have sticky fingers today, so for some reason I had a lot of typos, but it works. These are 10 easy to do examples. I hope you like the video. This is a companion to the first video on the part 1 of my C++ tutorial. For the next tutorial, for part 2, I'm going to incorporate the examples along with the demonstration. I'm going to be talking about logical situations, so I'm going to be doing the examples within the video. In this case, I did it separately. I hope you liked the video, and if you do, you know what to do. Thank you, and until next time.